everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama. Welcome to our channel, Paws On Animation, and our Paws On Manga segment.
Today we're covering the manga Helck.
Yes, this book just received an anime adaptation in late 2023. The anime just finished in December, and after we saw the first episode on Anime Network, we decided to grab the manga first to see what we're getting into, and it's a wild one.
Before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, click notification buttons for future podcast and want to pause videos.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for subscribing to us and joining us and sharing our videos. Really appreciate it.
Yes.
So for this particular manga, if you're not familiar with it, as we weren't, it's written by Nanaki Nanao, and the English publisher is Viz Media. The manga that we're currently reading has 6 issues. I'm sorry, the manga that we're currently reading
6 volumes?
has 12 volumes.
Okay.
And there was a spin-off as well. The current one that we're reading ran from May 2014 to December 2017. And then the spin-off, Fushigi na Ikamono, it ran from July 2018 to 2018. It had 1 volume. And then there's a third one called Divergent Sword Saga that's currently running and began in 2020 and currently has 6 volumes. So it's a really popular series.
Right, and it's still new, so go figure. So, for the synopsis of this manga, and I guess the anime as well, is after the Demon Lord is slain at the hands of a lone human warrior, humans rejoice over the end of his reign of terror. But an intense tournament of powerful fighters hoping to be crowned the next Demon Lord has drawn in the unlikeliest of contestants. Helck, who claims to hate humans but is one himself. How will Helck change the course of the war between demons and humankind?
So in the first volume,
it is 3 months have passed since the Demon Lord was struck down, and the Demon Realm is holding a tournament to select his replacement. The leading contestant is Helck, a human hero who claims to hate his own kind. Some aren't happy with the idea of a human, by some we mean one, becoming the next Demon Lord, especially Vermilio the Red. She wants nothing more than to protect demonkind and prove Helck to be their enemy, even if she has to rig the competition to do it.
What I think is really interesting about this particular franchise, we saw the anime the first episode, and right now on Anime Network is subbed. And it seemed interesting, but as we said, we weren't sure. So I grabbed some volumes from the library. And for me, I'm loving the manga a lot. And the manga is one of those you can't put down. We actually saw on Bing where someone says, if you want to read a manga for 6 hours straight, I recommend Helck.
Right.
It's really that good of a manga. If you've already read it, let us know what you think in the comments below. But the manga is engaging and exciting and well written and fluid, and you want to know what's going to happen next. The only thing I would say is Vermikins says some things sometimes that could have been left out, but other than that, it's a great manga. It's one of those hidden gems that you never knew anything about, you never saw it, you never heard of it, you never even heard people talk about it that you know or deal with, and then bam, here it is, and it's like, wow, where have you been?
Right. And the fact that this is still rather new is even more incredible because you found a pretty new hidden gem. Not one that's been like out for years and years and you don't see a lot of people talk about it. And you're like, oh my gosh, this one is still fresh, and it's like, why aren't people talking about it?
Yes, so the Demon Lord, right now we don't know his name, but we do know Vermilio, and she's one of the 5
what do they say? Not the captains, the
yeah, you could say captains.
Yeah, okay.
And a Sudra is another one. And in this book, they're all given these number levels like you've seen in the slime anime and mangas. And the numbers tell you their strength. The highest, of course, being 100.
Right.
And I think she's 78.
I think
he's
so.
75, a Sudra.
Yeah.
Well, she's 75 and he's 73.
But yeah, right the first time.
Okay. She's 78 and he's 75. And in the beginning of the manga, these people are competing to see who's going to take the place of the Demon Lord. And they've got people who've come from all over, I guess, the universe.
Yeah.
And somehow Helck has managed to get in. And Vermilio, or Vermikins as a Sutra calls her, is upset because he's like, why'd you let this human enter? You said anyone.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, use your common sense. No humans. Well, it's too late now. He's in it.
Right.
And she's upset because every single challenge, he's winning. And it's either by wits or patience or strength.
Right. It even got to a point where it stopped being about the fighting. It started being stuff that nothing to do with fighting. These people just accept, oh, you build a tower of cards. You bake a dessert. You run along on your animal and win a race. And it's like nothing to do with fighting, but they somehow think it is, and they just don't question it.
She's one of the 4 elite lords. I remember it.
Okay.
That's what she is. So what is interesting is Helck, as we mentioned, is human. And you don't find out more until you read volume 2 of what is the big deal about a human coming from the human realm,
right,
to enter the challenge, enter the challenge to become the next demon lord. Mm-hmm. And you learn that Helck is suspected of killing his brother Kless. He's a legendary hero in the human world, and his brother is the one who killed the demon lord.
Yeah. Right.
So that's another reason why she doesn't want him in it, because of guilt by association.
Right.
And you're reading, and you're like, you're laughing, and you're getting the story unveiled to you, but you're laughing and laughing because these characters, they're bonkers. They're powerful, but they're bonkers.
Yes.
Emilio, or Vermikins, I keep laughing because I like when he says it.
Right.
She is, I guess she's like a sundering.
Yeah, I think so, because of the personality and everything, which you don't see a whole lot of now, so yeah.
And then the Sudra, again, who's one of the 4 elite lords with her, you know he's in love with her.
Yeah.
And he keeps calling her Vermikins, and she hates being called nicknames, and he never calls her by her name. He always calls her Vermikins.
Right.
And she's always yelling and screaming at him. And in the battle when they were trying to protect the demon lord, he got injured, so his whole face is bandaged, and he keeps bleeding and things.
Yeah, it was like all my.
Go sit down and heal and rest.
Right, it's like all my but worse. It's like, please go lie down.
And he won't do it. So, of course, when you get to volume 2, he's on the cover, and you see that he's supposed to be hot. And
it's like, what else?
Rascal said, of course he was. His face was bandaged.
Yeah, I was like, what? That's not even surprising anymore. As soon as they have a mask or a bandage, you're gonna be attractive. It's like, why are people surprised at this point?
So in the first book, everything is set up, and you're introduced to all these characters, and you get a little bit of cliffhanger at the end of the first book that makes you want to go to the second book. But again, there's so much humor interwoven within the story,
right,
that if it's supposed to be taken seriously, you forget.
Right.
And you're laughing, and you really want to know what's going to happen. And then you get to volume 2.
Right.
And then it gets a little more serious. You still have a lot of humor, and you get introduced to some more characters who are 2 more of the 4 elite lords, and you get introduced to more of the people who come from the human realm. So I'll read quickly the back of volume 2, just to update on what's happening.
Okay.
Helck sets out with a group of demons led by the disguised Vermilio to defeat a mysterious group of winged soldiers and reclaim Castle Huron. However, before they can finish the fight, Helck and Vermilio are transported to a strange place. Now the 2 must figure out how to survive in this new environment and how to coexist. But before you get to that, what they failed to mention on the back is that heroes from the human realm show up. And then you're like, okay, well, why are they heroes? And why are they in this realm? And we learned that she sends someone to go to the human realm to find out what's going on. Can you find out what her name is? She's an aide. And when she gets there, she tells her there are no humans here.
Oh, yeah.
It's empty.
It was, what's the name? Unfortunately, it's not.
We got the book so we can check.
Right, so Asta, that's the name.
Yes, we should have remembered that. And she tells her there's no one in the human realm. It's empty. She hasn't found anyone anywhere. And they're like, well, we wonder what happened. Has there been a cataclysmic event? But if there has, then where are all the buildings and things standing? So you're told about that in book 1, and you get to book 2, and you find out why.
Right.
And it's because they've explained that all of the humans in this world have suddenly been awakened and now have all of these powers.
Yeah, right.
And now they're coming to the demon world to destroy them.
Right.
And
instead of just, staying out of it.
Right. And so you're introduced to other characters in this realm that are powerful, that are likable, and for those of you who really like a lot of females, strong females in a manga or a story, there are plenty in here, but they're all likable.
Right,
they're all absolutely likable. And so Vermikins decides she wants to get into the challenge so she can keep an eye on Helck, because she doesn't trust Helck. She thinks he's being sent there to be a spy. She keeps saying he's a spy, he's a spy.
It's like he's kind of dense to be a spy.
And so she cuts her hair and puts on peasant clothes and pretends her name is Anne.
It's like, okay.
But two of the other elite lords recognize her. And they're like, she looks familiar, I know her. And they start calling her ma'am and being respectful to her. And it's like something's wrong, because she's like, why are they being this way to me? I'm just a commoner. Why would they do that? Because they recognize her, and they couldn't place where they knew her from, but they knew she must be important, so I'm going to be respectful so I don't get in trouble. So she does that, and as the book mentions, during that they get pulled into another realm. And after they get pulled into another realm, then the heroes from the human world show up, and they are coming to destroy and to kill. And they've made it plain.
So this is sort of like a reverse thing, where it's the humans that are bad and they actually legitimately aren't bad. And like you said, that's when it starts to get a little more serious in terms of the story. Like, you end up actually meeting a few of the humans who have awakened, and it's not something they were told to do. It's just someone decided, hey, got all this power, let's start taking some more land, even though they've been perfectly fine where they were, and could just expand where they are. They start going all the way over to where the demons and these other things are, and trying to take over. I'm like, oh great, we got a lot of realism in here.
And then they start showing up with wings.
It's like they're getting worse.
Like,
and the same for Helck and another human that he actually was friends with at one point. They were still newly awakened, so he doesn't have the wings and everything yet. He just has the super strength, the wit, the speed and things. But apparently, even with all this, that's not fully awakened yet. It means he's still developing. And he seemed to be one of the few that didn't think it was right that they were just going and wiping out these different groups and things just because they had the power to do it and expand. So now he wants to try to end this war without one side taking out the other, whether it be human or demon or somewhere else, something else.
So it gets really, really interesting in Volume 2 as well, especially after you see what's happening in the battle. Then you're taken to where Helck and Vermikins has been transported to. And they're taken to this place. Oh, we forgot to mention, in the realm that the Demon Lord realm, they don't go outside of it because every place else they say it's poison, and the air will poison and kill them. And in the human realm, they expect it to be poisonous, but it's not, and Asta tells them it isn't, and she can breathe fine. So when they end up in this other realm they end up in, it's the same way. There's no poison. And she's like, well, why is all these different places aren't poison, like the outside around their realm is poison? And so she's beginning to wonder and think what's going on. They meet other humans or elves.
They meet different types of creatures there, and some of them are so really bizarre looking designs for a lot of these characters. Like, who drew this?
Yes. And then they're really kind to them, and they feed them. Helck builds a house. She's still like, I don't trust him. I can't trust him. Is he on our side? And she still isn't sure if he is or not. And then he starts to tell her his backstory, which gets interesting. We won't spoil that for you. So after that, then, back in the demon realm where they're having the battle, Azildra finally shows up without the bandages and things. And he shows up because they're losing. And they know that the humans want to wipe him out. And he's like, look, I don't want to fight you. I don't want to hurt you. Just leave. If you just leave, we'll just wash this under the rug, pretend that it didn't happen. And they're like, no. And he's like, why? I'm telling you, I don't want to do this. Let's just forget about it and you go home. And they say all this crap to him. He's like, okay, well, I've given you a chance. And they're like, well, who are you? You can't be anyone important. Look at you. And that's when he reveals himself. I am Azildra of the Empire's 4 Elite Lords at the end of the volume. So I can't wait to read more of these because it's really good.
And can't wait to read the rest of these and see how it unfolds, and heck, how it's even going to end.
Yes.
How's it going to end? The even more important part is like, of all this happening, all these twisties, the twist, a real twisty thing, and coming up each volume, you can only imagine how this is going to end, who's going to make it, and it's already escalated after just 2 volumes.
So 2 more things I want to point out. One, it's obvious that some of these characters were inspired by other manga and anime, including the girl Asta. When you see her, you know why we say it. And Vermilion is Vermilion the Red, so we think of what's it? Something of a failed night.
Chivalry of a failed night.
Yeah, Chivalry of a failed night. She's Princess Vermilion. Obviously, when you see her and how she behaves, she's her. You see Dorshi and how he looks. He's from another manga. They're all inspired, and Helck looks like Thor.
Yeah,
on steroids.
And they actually have a character named Thor in there at one point too. So
you'll see they're inspired by other characters. And the second thing is, now that we've read the manga, we're definitely going to continue with this anime and see how much they actually take from it. Is it one-to-one closely, or is it loosely based on the manga?
Right.
So I'm really excited now about seeing it. So if you've read Helck or you've watched the anime, let us know what you think in the comments below. Did you love it? Did you find it fun? Did you read it straight for 6 hours? The inquiring minds want to know.
Right.
And if you haven't read it, it's available to buy. You've seen it on Amazon, or go to your local library and pick it up like we are. Give it a read. You will be so happy, and you're very, very welcome. We keep finding these awesome reads.
Right. And if you haven't already, subscribe for updates and weekly videos for your anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Yes. Thank you so much again for your support. Please share this review if you really love it. Tell your friends about the manga. Encourage them to read it and watch the anime. And if you have something you'd like to recommend that we watch or cover, let us know in the comments below.
Yes. So, thank you so much for watching Rascal Entertainment
and Mom Entertainment.
Have a toon-tastic day.
Peace.
Rivers and streams, plucking sunlight from the sky in my pocket, giving